All right. Aitznet, good evening, everyone. Heichka Squeakquel and Heichka to our Feather Runner Dayton. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Yum's Catering for providing us again with a delicious and nourishing meal. Heichka to Usiltanot for blessing our table. And most importantly, Heichka to each and every one of you for being here tonight, especially to our guests that have traveled so far to be here, and for sharing your precious time away from your loved ones, all for the betterment of our nation. Again, Heichka to Dayton, our feather runner. I have been asked just to speak a little bit on the importance of our speaking feather. So I'd like to just take a moment to acknowledge the significance of the pelican and the responsibility that Dayton carries. This feather represents respect, responsibility, and the power of our words. To hold the feather is to speak truthfully and with intention. And of course, if you speak out of turn, you're $5 short. I've had the honor of watching Dayton embrace this role along with other TFN youth, and he always carries this responsibility with great care. Having a young person in this role is significant. Our youth are our future. They witness, they learn, and they will carry these teachings forward. It truly reminds us of the way our people conduct business, with peace and honor at the forefront of our work. I wish Parliament would take a few notes. But enough about politics and a little bit more about me. My apologies, I haven't introduced myself. Siemna Siea, Mitsep Kukwelum, Iash Nishkwalowin, Askaka, Shwelep, Jessica Thanesqui, Talitzin At Swathin. Seat Talitz to Seat Salt Siem, Ni Wealth, Ait Met, Tanaswael, At Satsa, Ten Tamutst. My dear respected friends and relatives, welcome and good evening. My spirit is filled with happiness to be with you all here tonight, and I thank their Creator for another beautiful day on Mother Earth. Tonight, we come together in a good way, just as our people always have, with our culture at the forefront and the strength of our ancestors guiding us. A wish of the people has been to honor our legislatures with regalia, and tonight we fulfill that wish in a sacred and meaningful way. But before we begin, we must first call upon our witnesses. Witnessing is not just about watching, it is about remembering, carrying these moments forward, and ensuring that the work we do here does not fade. To our witnesses, we thank you for taking on this sacred responsibility. The act of giving quarters to witnesses signifies the importance of their role. In the past, a Hudson's Bay blanket was a valuable trade item, and 2 quarters could purchase one. While the monetary value of a quarter is small today, its symbolic meaning in Coast Salish culture remains significant. It represents the value of the knowledge and responsibility carried forward. So at this time, I would like to call upon witnesses, and when you're called upon, please stand, and our legislators will give quarters, and we're going to start from our farthest away. From our Comox Nation, I'd like to call upon Councillor Susan Savoy, ancestral name Lokwa Logwa. If you could please stand. Heichka for answering the call. Now from Kitsum Kalem, Deputy Chief Troy Sam, Samoygat Hops. If you could please stand, Heichka. And now we'll call upon two witnesses from Sawathan. Our first witness is Thamit Tony Jacobs. Modern nation, it's not like the Longhouse, is it? Thank you for accommodating. And last, I would like to call upon Quintiltanot. Kim Baird, please. Hi, Chikasiyam, that is our speakers, and to our witnesses, thank you for stepping forward. We will call upon you at the end of the work to speak if you wish. You may sit, legislators. I just wanted to point out by one of our knowledge keepers that we may have been circling the floor in the wrong direction. We are a young nation in culture, and I just want to apologize if we did any work in the wrong way. Next, we'll be talking about laying of the cedar boughs. And at this time, I would like to invite our language and culture team forward to lay down the cedar boughs while I speak a little bit of the significance. Earlier today, our team harvested the cedar with prayer, with offerings, and with gratitude. We did not take without giving back. That is our way. When we lay down cedar for someone to stand on, we are preparing a sacred space, acknowledging the presence of spirit and protecting that person from any negativity that might try to cling to them. Cedar is a powerful medicine, one of our strongest purifiers, always working to cleanse, strengthen, and uplift. When a person stands on cedar, it helps to clear away any negative energy they may carry, allowing them to stand in a good way, balanced and strong. It is a barrier between them and anything that does not serve them. Cedar is laid down to recognize the significance of what is taking place, whether it is a speaker about to share important words, a dancer stepping forward, or someone receiving an honor. The cedar reminds us that this is a sacred moment. Cedar carries our prayers. When we place it down, it is a way of calling on our ancestors to walk with us, to give us strength to those standing on it. It reminds us we are never alone. In our ways, we do not ask someone to stand on a bare floor when they are being lifted up in a ceremony. We lay cedar to acknowledge their presence, their role, and their responsibility that they carry. It is a way of saying, we see you, we honor you, and we support you. Just as cedar roots itself deep in the earth, those who stand on it are reminded to stay grounded in who they are. It is an encouragement to speak and act from a place of truth, humility, and cultural strength. Remember, cedar is a gift from the Creator, and when we use it in this way, we are calling on its medicine to help us walk in a good way. So whenever you see it laid down, know that something meaningful is happening, something our ancestors would recognize and respect. Be good to the cedar, and it will always take care of you. It is now my honor to invite respected Elder Spalaukton to the floor, please. Terry, to begin drumming as our language and culture team wrap our legislatures in our regalia. My apologies. Should we have the legislatures? If legislatures could please lahilach and make your way over to the cedar. And while our legislators are finding their way to the Cedar Boughs, I just want to say, and it is an honor to have respected Elder Spalaukton Terry here with us tonight, leading us with song as we gift this regalia. He is a knowledge keeper, a teacher, and a guiding force for so many of us in our cultural journeys. We are truly blessed to have you here, and we always raise our hands high to you. Hai Chikasia. Hi, Chikasiam. Thank you so much for that powerful medicine, Spalaukton. Now I just see how long I can have you stand up there for. I will ask you to stay standing until after our witnesses have spoke. Likwam and Haichka. And I'm just going to speak a little bit on regalia before we move on and the importance of it. You see, regalia is more than just fabric. It is woven with the spirit of our people, and it carries that spirit, history, and teachings. When we wear our regalia, we carry the prayers and intentions of our ancestors. It is a sign of respect to ourselves, to our nation, and to the ceremonies that we take part in. We are told headbands and hats keep our minds strong. Our sashes, blankets, and vests, shawls are worn for protection as well. The colors and designs sometimes reflect our families, our clans, and our stories. Some regalia is passed down, carrying the strength of those who came before us, while other pieces are newly made, connecting the present generation to our traditions. But we must also remember that there was a time when our people were forbidden to wear their regalia. Our songs, our dances, and our ceremonies were outlawed. Our ancestors had to hide their sacred ways, practicing in secret or risking punishment. Yet, even in the face of those hardships, our people held on to our teachings. They found ways to pass them down so that today we can stand proud, wearing what once was taken from us. That is why regalia must always be treated with care, never thrown aside or disrespected. When we dance, sing, or stand in ceremony, our regalia moves with us. It carries our prayers to the Creator, and it reminds us of our role in our community. We do not wear it for ourselves alone. We wear it for those who cannot be here, for the next generation watching us, and for the land that gives us life. It is a sacred responsibility. So may this regalia always protect you and serve as a reminder of our past and the strength of our future. Now is the time I'd like to call upon our witnesses, one by one, to share the important work that they have witnessed this evening. And of course, we'll start with our Comox Nation. My apologies. First, from our Comox Nation, Councillor Susan Savoy, Lokwa Logwa. And I'll just hand you the feather.
It's better that way. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to witness your traditions and culture today. I am here to represent our ancestors, our hereditary family heads, and our Comox people that have come with us today. The feather runner and the way you honor your youth and include them and raise them up, that's so important. And the traditions that you're following, it just warms our heart to see that going on. And all the people that are singing and speaking the language here, it's just amazing. You guys have set a standard and that we would like to follow and reflect, right? So, Gila Kasla. Thank you.
And now from Kitsakalem, I'd like to call upon Deputy Chief Troy Sam Samoygat Hots. My apologies. If I could call back our last witness to receive quarters. My apologies. I moved too fast on that. My apologies for rushing that. Now I'd like to call upon Deputy Chief Troy Sam Samoygat Hots.
Thank you. Samoygat, Sigam Hana, Kabawaltsik, Lucky Giget, chiefs, matriarchs, honored legislative council for Tawasin First Nations. Congratulations. It was an honor to witness this event today. It's really nice and heartwarming to see our young people coming up speaking the language. Like I myself, I only know the bad words, and I don't know too much of my language, but it really warms my heart seeing all the young people coming up to carry on the traditions, and seeing the traditions and hearing more about the traditions of the two quarters, like how connected we are. There's that young lady right there who came to our table, asked where we're from. And when we mentioned we're from Kitsim-Kalem, oh, that's where my Auntie Rena's from. Yeah, that's my Auntie Rena too. So how closely, like, you don't realize how closely connected we all are. And it's an honor to hear, to see what the significance of the two quarters are, what the significance of the cedar is, what the similarities between the south and the north, because that's one of the things that my Auntie Rena always told me. Don't forget, you're a southern as well. But again, thank you. It's an honor to witness this, and I look forward to sharing the story for as long as I can remember. Thank you.
Oh, yes, Courtney. HKCM, to our guests, we will cherish your words always, and we just appreciate you being here and witnessing so very much. Next from Swathin, I would like to call upon Thamet for our next speaker.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an honor and pleasure to be here to witness what's going on here. And I'd like to first of all welcome Kitsim-Kalem Comox for coming. I'm not sure too much where you're at right now, but I understand you're in the midst of going through treaty negotiation and getting close to that, coming up to a vote, not sure, but I know you're involved with that. Everybody's shaking their head, so I'm on the right track? Good, okay, all right. Wasn't informed yet, but had a good guess. Pretty exciting times. I recall our nation going through those times. Our chief at the time, Kim, was negotiating our treaty, and everybody else was involved helping with the negotiation. It was intense times sitting at that big table with all the suits there and everything, and federal government and provincial governments. So it was a very exciting time and very nerve-wracking time. So, but it's great. It's a lot of work. It's hard work, and I'm happy to see the direction you're going. And it's been a long time for nations to finally come forward and gain control of our land and of how we speak and who we are. So very proud of that. Very proud of when we signed our treaty and gained control and had power to make our own laws and strengthen our culture and show it off and just be there. So thank you for that, and welcome to our nation. Um, my daughter warned me about a week ago, Dad, you got to come down there, right? Oh yeah, what's up now, right? So, but also I want to thank our MC. Good job, good work. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's how you learn. You're doing a great job. Very organized, with the papers and everything. So great job, yeah. Grandson doing a great job. It's an honor to witness the work that takes place here tonight at the legislation meetings. I remember when we signed our treaty, we went from band meetings to legislation meetings. And for a nation, that was a big change. And I'm sure every nation can agree with that. So we had to learn how to do legislation. And it was quite an experience, but it's a great experience, and we learned how to do it, and it's great to witness all the work that's taking place here and how we do it, and the culture, and just sitting back, witnessing what's going on, just brings back a memory of my mom. My mom is a very strong woman of the nation, one of our matriarchs, and so I just wanted to say I witnessed that here tonight. Our matriarch doing all the work here, organizing everything. It's good to see. There was something else I wanted to say. Good job, Chief. Where's our chief? A lot of tough job up there, and our councillors. Good job. Keep at it in all our legislatures. So it's nice to be able to come back and witness all the work that's being done here. And I also wanted to thank Bertha for the great food. Where is she? In the kitchen. Also want to thank her. I mean, that's probably the first time I've had homemade applesauce in years. So and it brings me back to years ago, like her mom Dot would always do all the cooking down here. Funerals and big gatherings. Dot would be there, bossing everybody around, making sure all our visitors and guests got fed. So, I mean, it's a great tradition of the Coast Salish people, and to feed our guests, and it's a great to see and witness that culture being continued. So, Haichka, thank you.
Haichka Thamet. One day I strive to stand up here with no papers and speak to the heart from the heart like you do. Your storytelling is phenomenal. And lastly, I'd like to call upon Quintiltanot. Quintiltanot.
Thank you so much for calling me as a witness. I understand it was so I could, speak for an hour to keep you all standing. Thanks to the other witnesses for sharing their words. And as someone that was involved with the creation of the treaty and becoming self-governing, I'm just so proud to see you all in regalia. I think it signifies wrapping you in protection for the important work you do for our people, but also to signify that you're a team, that you're working together as our government. And I think it's very powerful to do this in a traditional way, to introduce ceremony, to call witnesses, as is our tradition, to ensure that the witnesses remember the work and pass that on to our families. And I'm very touched to see this done in such a good way. It's important. I think we always have process improvements. Be good if we can do this earlier in our term and all these things, but it's all good progress. It's all moving in a better direction of working together. And I think Bryce coined the term for this legislature, Natsamat, for future generations, working together as one. So the work you do can be hard. I know that firsthand, and I just want to encourage you to work together as much as possible, even when it's hard. That's when the best solutions come. And again, I thank you for calling me as a witness, and look forward to see the work you do for the rest of this term. Haichka, Haisapka.
Again, Haichka Siyam, to the witnesses that shared their words, their strength, and their wisdom with us here tonight. The knowledge is truly the currency of our people, and we witnessed that this evening. And as we near the end of this portion of our gathering, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to all who have gathered, who have listened, who have witnessed Haitsepka. I raise my hands to you. Thank you for standing with us, for honoring our ways, and for recognizing the power of these moments. May we continue to walk forward together, carrying the strength of those who came before us and the hope of those who will come after. Excuse me. This concludes this portion of our work. Thank you all for your presence, patience, and care. I pray that the rest of the work tonight will be meaningful and bring positive change to our people. And to those making their affirmations tonight, Mitsep Kukwelam to TFN, may you prosper in your new roles. But before I and the Language and Culture team depart, it is with great honor to invite our respected chief, Swamsat, to share some final words before we move forward with the rest of our evening. Haichkasiya.
It's here. Okay. Osiem Nasiya. Tonight we come together in a good way, honoring our culture, our ancestors, and the strength of our people. To our witnesses who traveled far and those here with us, we thank you. Witnessing is a sacred role. You carry this moment forward, ensuring it is remembered and shared. The regalia gifted tonight is more than clothing. It carries our spirit, our responsibilities, and our pride. When worn, it is an honor and a reminder of who we are. Our elders have said that the legislature should wear regalia so they know who they are, and so they may wear it while traveling, representing our people. This is not just a beautiful gift and a memory, it is a responsibility. As a modern treaty nation, we walk in two worlds. Our ways must evolve, but our old ways must never be lost. We are adapting, but we are keeping our culture alive, breathing new life into our traditions as we move forward. Our language, our songs, our ceremonies, they have always been here. They have endured because our people are strong. Culture is not just something we practice, it is who we are. To everyone gathered here and those watching online, thank you for standing with us, for honoring our ways, and for witnessing this important work. I raise my hands to all of you. Haichka.
Haichkasiam, Chief Swamasat, raise my hands to you. Thank you for your powerful words and your presence always in the community. So this also concludes this portion of the work. You guys have to stand there while everybody's goes on their break, though. So, but this does conclude this portion of work, and we're going to have a short break before you convene into regular legislature protocol. Haichkasiam.
to bring the legislators into the chamber, and Wapio is going to say a few words about the song that he's going to be singing.
Wosio, thank you for letting me speak, say a few words. I just want to explain the song you're about to hear, something I wanted to share. The song you're about to hear, it's called the Healing Song. So if you have any loved ones who need of healing, their extra prayers, their thoughts, we've always been told to pray in your own way to send that extra strength to your loved ones, whoever needs that strength, the extra push. So the song comes from the Shodab's canoe family, Swatsalitsa, who I share with. So we call it the healing song. We share it. Whoever needs prayers, we always sing the song. Because we've always been told each song has that meaning. So I just want to sing the healing song for our loved ones who need the extra prayers. So we've always been told to pray in your own way, to share that medicine. So I just wanted to share this. Thank you for letting me speak. Hope you can hear me in the back. Pray in your own way. Pray for your loved ones. Pray for our elders. Pray for our youth. Whoever needs prayers, we'll see.
Misep Kukwelam. Good evening, everyone, and Heichka for joining us tonight for the first evening of the spring 2025 legislative session. I am grateful to be here with each and every one of you for what I am sure will be a very informative and enriching evening. It's already started off in a very good way, and I think we'll be able to build on the good work and the good feeling and the squallowing that we've been experiencing here tonight. Heichka, to Wapio, and to Kuquimasot for sharing their voice and their song and unifying our hearts in one beat. Thank you, Wapio, for taking the time to share and explain the meaning of the song and the prayers that we can give to anyone that is feeling it, that are needing it, and to remind us that there's power through our drumming for healing, for us to heal as individuals and heal together and heal as to send prayers to our loved ones that might need it. Thank you to Yums Catering. I want to echo Thamet's comments about the applesauce and the really good food that we had tonight, and for nourishing our bodies as the drumming song and the ceremonial work nourished our spirits. I want to thank to Yusiltanot for blessing the table and making sure that we started our meal off in a good way as well. So thank you very much for all of that work. I would now like to call upon our respected elder, Quistania Ruth Adams, to start our legislative session with an opening prayer. Heichka Usiam.
Hello, everyone. Just, just a little bit so honored and happy to be here to do this prayer tonight. And just to let you know, I just say the sign of the cross. It is Catholic, but I didn't want to hurt anyone that is here. That is all I do is the sign of the cross, and that's Catholic. But I don't say my whole prayer. This is the way I pray spiritually. So tonight, my name is Quistania, and that comes from my grandmother, Sophia Williams Jacobs, and that is from Nanaimo, where her mother came from. And I have two names. My father is Clarence Morgan from Sta'alis, the Sasquatch land, and my name from there is Stepson. And just to let you all know how honored I am, because I am an elder of this nation, and my grandmother and grandfather, I was with them a lot, so this is where I knew the traditions. So to see the young ones here just standing in front of everybody, I'm so honored to have them and to know that they are doing all of the things that I couldn't do. When I was young, I couldn't learn the language or anything because everything about First Nations were criminalized. So just wanted you to all know a little bit of that history, and it has been brought up by our youth today, which I am so very proud to see you all doing this. It's my grandchildren, 5 generations I have. So it means a lot to me to do this honor tonight, and I say this before I say the prayer. So name the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Creator, as always, I want you to bless this table, our legislative table, and bless each and every legislator here and our chief and our 4 executive, and bless the staff that put this work together for our legislature, and bless our chief and executive for doing all of this work for each and every member of our nation living on or off the nation. And dear Creator, this time tonight is a time to ask for special blessings. At this time, we have a big bully in America. So I want to say prayers for the bullies of this world, and say prayers for all of the ones that have to be harassed by these bullies. So this is not just in American Canada, but I pray this for our own nation too, that there will be no bullying
or harassing other members. And I say the same for Delta, BC, and Canada, because it is all over right now. But Creator, we need these prayers. We need the blessings of helping all of those bullies so that members and other people that live on our traditional territories, which is all throughout Canada, but in BC especially, everyone lives in our traditional territories. So I ask prayers for all of those bullies. And I ask prayers, special prayers for all of those who have to be harassed by those bullies in their lives. So I ask you for that, Creator, and bless all of our visitors. This is like the old days when I was a little girl. We had our First Nation family members come and be with us and celebrate with us and be with us when we were grieving for our lost ones. So Creator, bless all of the 2 nations that have come here and all of our people that work for us, the staff. Bless them all as they do their work with us and for us on Tsawwassen First Nation. So I ask you to bless everyone that's here and to bless all my ancestors and all of us older ones that have our ancestors standing right behind you, watching everything that you are doing and feeling so very, very proud of you for doing the work that they weren't allowed to do in our days. So thank you, Creator, for this beautiful nation, but also not forgetting we're not just about the land, we're about the water. We're here in our ocean, and by the side of us, we're by the Fraser River. So it's not just the land, it's a water, Creator. So bless the land and the water and all of us people that are living here on this beautiful land that our ancestors saved for us. So bless everyone and bless those other governments here in Canada, but especially in America. All of those American people need your blessings. So I send blessings to America for all the poor people that have to live under this dictator. So I thank you, Creator, for letting me live this long to be able to say prayers for our nation and for all of those who are with us to celebrate our culture and to be with us in peace and harmony and love, not hatred, anger, or jealousy. I thank you, dear Creator, for the blessing you've given to me to do this. In the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. All my relations, all my relations, all my relations, all my relations, north, south, east, and west. Just like our relatives said, this is our culture, north, south, east, and west, as it's all our relatives living there with us today, not just yesterday, but today.
Wosiem, Haichka. Haichka, Elder Kustania, for your opening words, your prayers, your thoughts, your intention of making sure that we are all taken care of and that we have the strength and the encouragement to do the work that we need to do. We're always grateful to have your beautiful words to start our evening together in a very good way. I'd like to begin this evening by welcoming Nisep Kukwelam, our legislators, back to the table, and to the Tsawwassen people, Tsawwassen Misteyuch, for watching on the live stream tonight, and those members that are here and sitting with us as well. We're happy to have our friends and our staff and our special guests here, along with our Tsawwassen members, to be watching and observing Haichka. I'm so very proud to have started this session in such a powerful way with all of you here together, sharing this with us, witnessing this, and honoring us by being here to see us receive our regalia. As mentioned before, our regalia connects us to our ancestors and to our community. It tells the story of who we are as the people, the Tsawwassen Misteuch, the Tsawwassen First Nation. I can tell you from my own personal feelings that it was a remarkable experience to be standing upon the cedar along with my fellow legislators, and to feel the support of the people that were here, the words from our witnesses. I could feel the power of our ancestors celebrating us, that we're able to honor our regalia and our ceremony in public, and in times when we weren't able to, and not that long ago. So I'm very happy that we were able to start this session, and I wear this regalia with the intention that it was intended for, to protect us as our sort of uniform, to remind us of the work that we're here to do, and to honor those that support us. I want to thank Jessica Adams. We called her an MC for this regalia ceremony, but I'd like to honor her as an upcoming speaker. She is strong in the culture. She's strong with her connection to her people. She's strong in her passion to be working and learning the language and sharing and listening and learning. And I want to honor her by acknowledging her as a squeakquel tonight for the work that she did for our regalia ceremony. She's an up-and-comer, and I can see her voice growing strong as she continues to do the work of speaking for events as such. I also want to acknowledge, and I think we all want to acknowledge, Elder Splockton, Terry Splockton, for sharing his gifts with us too. He is always willing to share his knowledge and gently guide us and give us advice on how to blend our modern culture with our traditional ceremonies and how we can do that in a good way. So we're always ever so grateful for him and his wisdom and his kindness and his generosity. Also want to thank to our witnesses who are called upon to speak their truth, to share their lens, their view of what they saw, their experiences from their own nation, and for our Tsawwassen Misteuch witnesses that shared their remembrance and their experiences of times past when Tsawwassen was young in treaty and before we were in the treaty. There are many stories that can be shared, and some of them are painful and they're harrowing, but also many of them are full of laughter, as humor is one of the strong gifts that each of our people have. And I would like to also extend gratitude to Chief Squamish, Laura Cassidy, for her closing remarks and reminding us about the roles of regalia and the importance, and that the journey that we take to get to do this work doesn't always happen when we think it should happen, but it happens when it should happen. And so here we are to now sitting with our new regalia. I want to extend a very warm welcome to our delegates from Comox Nation and Kitsim-Kalim First Nation, who have made this incredible journey to Tsawwassen lands to view our legislative session this evening. We hope that you enjoy watching us as we begin our first session. It's a good session to come and to observe how the opening of a session starts. It would be even more interesting to come if we were further on in the session and we were in second debate, heavy debate about something that might be a little more heated. And then that's when our cultural protocols really shine, because then we're able to have healthy debate on intense subjects, but have it in a manner that our elders have expected us to conduct ourselves. But we welcome you this evening to share the work that we're doing tonight. We recognize that your nations are in various stages of treaty development, and we commend you for taking such a monumental endeavor. We know firsthand the hard work that is taken in these long negotiations, the compromises that need to be made, going Mach 5 with your hair on fire and still not having enough hours in the day to get the work done. So we are honored to have you here with us tonight to share in one of our most important aspects of self-governance. Turning to tonight's business, I want to acknowledge our feather runner this evening, Dayton Jacobs-Mayo. Welcome back, Dayton. I think now Dayton's all seasoned up, and this is not a new task for him. You can see he's a little more comfortable in this role, not as nervous. I think he knows what he needs to do. He remembers all those things. He's watching you, making sure that you don't speak before you get the feather. So I'd like to remind legislators, staff, and guests to wait until they have the feather that's given to you by Dayton before you speak, and to pass it back, the feather back to the feather runner when finished speaking. As Jessica mentioned, there could be a $5, you could lose $5 for speaking out of turn. Before we get into our agenda, I would like to remind everybody to put yourselves on silent, please, so that we don't have the disruption of your ring, no matter how cool your ringtone is, how groovy it might want to make me boogie for just a little bit. If it's too cool, I might let you continue on and be disruptive so I can get up and dance, but we don't want to have that happen in this session, so please put your cell phones on silent. If you have 2 cell phones, please put both of them. And if you have 3 cell phones, I feel very sorry for you. So our first order of business is to move the agenda for the spring 2025 session. During this session, we will be considering Bill 001-2025, the Appropriations Act, which represents the TFN government annual budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. We're also going to hold a public service affirmation ceremony, hear reports from the Advisory Council on Bill 001-2025, hear a report from the Leaseholder Residence Advisory Committee on Bill 001-2025, receive an update presentation on the community safety strategy work, hear a report from the Tsawwassen Economic Development Corporation, receive a presentation on the new strategic plan, hold a vote to adopt the new legislative rules and procedures manual, and hear a report on the previous legislature resolutions. And finally, towards the end of the session, legislatures, as always, will have the opportunity to introduce any resolutions that they might want to put on the table for this session. And the date scheduled for the introduction for any legislative resolutions is February 27th. February 27th. Please put that in your calendar and ensure that you speak to staff members sometime before them to assist you with drafting a resolution. Are there any questions for the session agenda, legislatures? All right. I will now read the motion, and then I will ask for a mover and a seconder, and then we'll vote on it. Motion to approve the spring 2025 legislative agenda. Whereas Section 15 of the Tsawwassen Legislature Rules and Procedures requires the legislature to present an agenda for a legislative session. Therefore, be it moved that the Tsawwassen Legislature approves the following session agenda. Legislation, Bill 001-2025, the 2025-2026 Appropriations Act. Reports. Reports from Advisory Council on Bill 001-2025. Reports from Leaseholder Residence Advisory Committee on Bill 001-2025. Report on previous legislature resolutions. Update on Community Safety Panel strategy. Report and vote on updated legislature rules and procedure manual. Report from Tsawwassen Economic Development Corporation. Resolutions, opportunity for legislatures to introduce resolutions, and under other public service affirmation ceremony. May I please have a mover? Legislature Laqualia moves. May I have a seconder? Legislature Tequilum seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you, legislature. This motion was carried unanimously. All right, with that business done, we're going to move forward in tonight's agenda. First, we're going to have opening remarks from all of our legislatures. Following this, Chief Squamosat will introduce a motion to invite our respected guests from Comox First Nation to address the legislature with a few words. Then we will have the public affirmation ceremony for new employees. And following the ceremony, we will have the first reading of Bill 001-2025, the Appropriation Act, including an overview presentation from staff. And finally, we'll vote on a motion to move Bill 001-2025 to second reading as independent schedules. Are there any questions from legislatures with respect to tonight's agenda? Heichka, thank you very much. All right, I'd now like to invite legislators to take 2 or 3 minutes to make their opening remarks, starting with Seesmalot. Always for your first, dear. And then when we get to the chief, we'll skip the chief. I will go so that the chief may have the last word. Thank you. Seesmalot?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. It's good to see everybody back. And congratulations to my neighbor here, Taylor, on her new little one. Not so little. Can't wait to meet her. But yeah, I'd like to thank the cooks and the drummers and the singers and Ruth for saying the prayer, Dayton, our feather runner. I'm just going to make this short and sweet, but welcome back, everybody.
Hitchka, Legislature Taylor Baker.
Heichka Dayton and Heichka Kathy. Yeah, not so small. For reference, my daughter was 9.8 pounds. Good evening, everybody. My name is Taylor Baker. I'm a member of Executive Council and our legislature. First, I just want to start the evening by thanking and welcoming our two nations for joining us this evening and for joining us today on the tour of our lands and for meeting with our staff. And big heichka to Jessica, Kaylee, and our language and culture team for guiding us through the important work this evening. Welcome to our new staff. We're lucky to have you, and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Also, I'd just like to raise my hands to the Finance and Audit Committee and our Director of Finance, Mark, and our fellow directors and managers that put the hard work into the budget that we'll be going over this session. After becoming a new mom recently, I missed the FAC meetings in January, but I know and appreciate that the long days that went into the work for this, and I look forward to the few weeks that, with staff's presentations. Me as well will be taking this short and sweet, so Paichka, and I'm looking forward to the session.
Hitchka, Legislature Taylor. Legislature Palihuia.
Hitchka, it's good to be sitting back at the table here. My name is Dawn Williams. My ancestral name is Palihuia, and it comes from my great-grandmother Bertha Point from Musqueam. And I'm looking forward to the session. It's always a big one, a long one, and a busy one. We have a huge budget, and I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody around the table, any questions or comments, and having good discussions. Hitchka.
Hitchka, Legislature Hokomatia, Louise Om.
Hitchka Squeako Sam. I forgot to hit my button. Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's good to be back at the table. My name is Louise Om Hakamatia. My name comes female version from my Uncle Gordon. Prayers to him. He's in the hospital right now. And just want to welcome our guests here tonight. Very happy to see a full house and excited for you guys. Yeah, it's a big road you're ahead of, and wishing you all my best. Want to say hi to Squeakle, to Featherweather, and our cooks, our drummers for our heartbeat, to our elders for their strong prayers, and for all the staff who put all this work together for this budget. Hitchka. And to Dayton, Featherweather, Hitchka. You're getting tall. I'm shrinking. Hitchka.
Hitchka, Legislature Kuyakuya, Andrea Jacobs.
Guys, Squeakles here. Welcome to everybody. My ancestral name is Kuya, Andrea Jacobs. Happy to be here today. Just want to thank the elders and the drummers for being here, our members, Yums Catering. It's just it's just great to be fed. I was really wishing for fish. That was really great. Have our traditional food here. Advisory Council, who's always here. We have members that come every time, and it's just want to recognize them. And of course, our guests for traveling. It's just so awesome to see, to have you here. I wish that we had, and one day we will have, and you'll have to come back when we have our government house. somewhere we can gather together um, comfortably. And I wait for that day. I think it's going to be great. In the meantime, we're here in our old building, and me and my dad were talking, and I think he was talking about um, the first part of the building. I think it's like he said something like 70 years old, like it's old. So that we're still here today, that means something. That's pretty cool. Um, but I also just wanted to recognize that I thought it was awesome the ceremony. That was really great to have, and it's such a great way to start this session. I really enjoyed listening to our witnesses from our neighbors and Quintiel Tanat and Thamet. Always love the stories. It's something that you can't rush. Learn something new from every witness that I ever hear wherever I travel, and just love it. Part of my favorite part of our culture is learning, always learning. Um, and I thought that the best part, and I think it's so great, and I love witnessing the lifting up of our own people. I think that's something I just thought it was so great. Jessica, all the hard work that she did, and just lifting up one another. It's something that I always strive to do in my everyday life, and I just love witnessing and love our community for doing that. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to this year's budget, like every year. But also just want to. It's great to see everybody back at the table. So, yeah, Squeak will see him.
Hechka Legislature. Legislature Delautuit. Terry Splotkin.
Can you hear me? Hajka Squeakquel, Hajka Feather Runner, welcome back. Ana Siam Nat Sia Ya Anta Spalaktuit, Terry Splokton to Nashoni to Malthna Squeak. I Nashqualon Quanasi Quatatala Atalat Sunset Quath me Lapni Tana Ni Al Tawathan. Skleet Sun Siatam Tutsi Tsim Ni Wealth I Mat Not Swell Ald Tsatsat Tantmuxt. Respected elders and friends, Spalaktuet is my ancestral name. Terry Splokton is my English name. I share my ancestral name with my uncle, Elder Terry Spalokton, so I carry the female version. I am happy to see you all. I will thank you all for coming here at Tawasin. I'd like to thank the Creator for another beautiful day. I would also like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Language and Culture Department for the ceremony held this evening. And thank you to the witnesses that got up and spoke to share your knowledge and wisdom. And Jessica, thank you for sharing and explaining each step and the meaning behind it all. I extend my appreciation to Sialakwas Belaukton for drumming and singing. Always good to hear your songs. It is a profound honor to receive this regalia designed by Carl Harris. And I would also like to thank our esteemed guests from Comox Nation. Sorry if I say this wrong. Kitsum Talam, and the TFM members who are present in the gallery and those watching our live stream. And a special acknowledgement goes to Yum's Catering for the delightful dinner provided. And furthermore, I would like to welcome our new staff members. And it is a privilege to sit alongside my fellow legislators during the spring 2025 session.
Hechka Legislature. Legislature Sultanat. Loretta Williams.
Hitchcock's Feather Runner and Squeakle, and I'd like to acknowledge our guests that have traveled from Kitsum-Kalem, and there's family up there. Yes, quite a few of us around here are related to the Points, and so that would have been Rena Point. So just to make that connection, and for the Comox family, thank you for coming. And if I was nosy enough, I would have hopped on that tour with you guys. I was busy. And I'd like to acknowledge the staff, the caterers, drummers, the singers, and just everybody, you know, and for the people online that are listening and the members that have shown up tonight. but you know, we've gone through a lot in the last few years in regards to the treaty and how I just remembering how we had our first session in the Longhouse, and we had like I've never been a politician, so I had no idea what the heck we were doing, but we just followed along, and we have learned a lot with our customs and our traditions, and you know, we're still learning. And but anyways, welcome and congratulations on your endeavors, you guys. Good. Big Hachka.
Hechka Legislature Tehuilam, Yalchiwans, Bryce Williams.
OCM, Mitsap Quilum, CM Yoth Ewans, Thunisqui, CM Yoth Ewans et Quilum, Thunisqui, Talitzin, Yoth Swasan Misteach. Good evening, everybody. My name is Bryce Williams. My Haida name is Yoth Ewans, Big Raven, and I share that with my uncle Errol. And my ancestral name from Tawasin, I share that with my late grandfather, Russell Williams. I'd like to start off by saying Haichka to Yums Catering, delicious meal. And I'd like to say Haichka to everybody involved in the regalia ceremony. Haichka to the witnesses and all their strong words. Haichka to everybody for the songs and the prayers. Haichka to Elder Ruth. And Haichka to TFN for the regalia. And Haichka to Carl Harris, such beautiful work. Haichka to our guests from Kitsum Kalem and Comox. And of course, Haichka to our members that are present, that are here and also online to take this session in. And Haichka to our feather runner, good to see Dayton around the table again. As well as a shout out to staff, Haichka for staff for their hard work. It takes a lot to prepare for our sessions, and really thankful for setting us up and doing that good work, doing that work in a good way. Haichka to my colleagues around the table for being the voice of our people and taking the time from your families and your busy lives to be here. Glad to see people making that sacrifice and putting their name forward and being able to do that and speak for our people in a good way as well. I look forward to a productive session and an informative session, and look forward to working together for current and future generations for our Tawasin people. Haichka.
Hechka Legislature Luxton, Trent Genge.
Thank you, Dayton, for the feather. Thank you, Squeakle, for your kind words. They keep everything organized. I'd like to thank our guests from the island who came to watch us and learn what we're doing here. And I'd like to thank the cooks for a delicious meal and everything, and our drummers. And I'd like to thank the cultural committee for doing what they did for the regalia and the organization, how everything's done and to be done properly the way they've done it. And we're all learning at the same time with them for certain ceremonies. And it's just good to have some of our elders, which over there, who help us a lot. And it's just very nice. And like to thank the staff for putting on this lot of work for the budget. And I'm looking really forward to debating some of this stuff. And it's going to be very interesting. Hachka.
Hechka Legislature Squamia, Melinda Cassidy.
Haichka Squeakle and Haichka for the feather Dayton. Oh yes, I'd like to echo all the thanks for everybody who is here, everybody who's behind the scenes, to our cooks and singers and drummers and Elder Squitania, And I'm just very humbled and honored to receive and wear my regalia, my shawl. That was just a really heartwarming ceremony. Thanks to all the staff behind that. Thanks to all the witnesses that were here for that. And to our 2 visiting nations. I remember back when we were in the midst of our treaty negotiations and going to visit other treaty nations and self-governing nations, and just trying to learn from the positives and negative experiences that they went through. And so I hope that this was a positive experience for you guys, and good luck to the work ahead of you. I'm really looking forward to the session ahead here with my fellow legislators.
Hitchcock Legislature Marianne Adams.
Hitchka Squeakle CM and Hitchka Dayton for the Feather. My heart's full tonight with all the guests here and all the staff and everyone that's put such a great evening together. I'm just forever grateful, and to in the spirit of not sounding like a broken record, I just want to just say thank you to everyone in whole, and I also echo that I'm looking forward to the session and debates and all that, but I'm grateful for everybody. Hitchka CM.
Hitchka Legislature Laqualia, T.S. William Seifert.
Hitchka Squeakle CM. Welcome everyone, and welcome to our guests and all of the new TFN employees. Since we met last in the fall, much has happened for TFN, and things keep moving and evolving for us. I'm so happy to see that TFN members are being heard and needs are being met. Our food bank is being revamped, and there are many, many fitness classes being offered. And today, after quite a while, I popped by the Elder Center this afternoon, and I met the TFN nutritionist. And she'll be working with members and their families to continue improving our health. And since our last session, we're closer to the new Elder Center being opened. We don't know when, but we're getting there. And after many years, our cultural center, the Siathas Lalem, the teaching house, received occupancy, so we'll be moving in, and that includes our archaeological repository where we can start working with our member artists and carvers and weavers to work closely with our ancient belongings. So I feel a lot of pride in doing the work that we do for the community, and I look forward to this big budget session.
Hitchka Legislature. I am also, my heart is full. Thank you for the reflections, Laqualia, on the work that's happened since our last budget session, even since our last legislative sitting in November. I was reflecting over Kwiakua's comments about, Thamat's comments about the old part of the hall. 70 years. I won't say which birthday, but I remember having a birthday party in here when I was young, and it was a festive little area right at that where that little archway there, those brown beams. That's where the old hall, and it housed many activities: the band office, pool games, band meetings, birthday parties, shenanigans, Halloween parties of all kinds, and so the spirit of our people have continued through all of this growth and change. And thank you for those memories as I reflect back on where we've come from and where we are right now. And, the work that we do really inspires me and encourages me for the work that's yet to come. Want to thank everyone for their voice that they're bringing here tonight. The legislatures, the spirit, the ancestors that you bring with them, bring with you, and so that we can make sure that the work that we're doing as we go forward is going to be done in a good way. I'm ever so grateful to be a part of this government body. Each of you brings something special to the table that inspires me and strengthens me, and for the work that I have to do as a Squeakle. And the work that you do and the way that you conduct yourself and bring yourself to this table makes my job a little easier. And believe it or not, I get nervous every time. Some of you won't believe that, but it's true. But I believe that they're good nerves because it keeps you humble for the work that you need to do and to be servant leadership. And I'm here to serve your legislative table so that we can do the work that we need to do. Thank you again to your guests for being here and watching us. I've got some relatives over here from the Songhees, cousin over there. We've got some relatives that are I also have a point, Elizabeth Point, that connects us probably somewhere down the line. So it's good to remember that we are all connected and that we have, while we might have some differing traditions, we have some similar as well. And so thank you very much for the good feelings that you're bringing here, the good squallowing that you're bringing here. With that, I will, because I get to speak anytime I want, I will pass the mic and the floor over to our Chief Squamish, Chief Laura Cassidy Hitchka.
Hitchka Squequelsiam and Hitchka Dayton for the feather. I just want to say thank you to everyone for all your opening remarks. It was just nice listening to everybody. And I would like to say welcome again to our visitors. I think I've been with you since this afternoon, since lunch. Then I want to say thank you to all the other TFN members and our new staff that are here tonight and our members that are online. And I want to thank our legislators for being here for this here session. I'm looking forward to it. And I really like to thank our staff. This budget was a little more work this year because they added and changed around a few schedules, so there's a lot of work, and I think it's going to be really good moving forward. All these changes, so I look forward to this here session and see how it will run smoothly. I'd like to also say thank you to our drummers and our elder for our prayer, and for our cooks. I had a little bit of pork with my applesauce. I really enjoyed the homemade applesauce. And I really want to thank our cultural staff for the ceremony tonight. It just warms my heart at how far our cultural team has come, and they're just there everywhere in our community for every event and function, and their hard work just reflects all the good heart they put into everything. Everything seems to run really smoothly. So I'll just keep it short here, and I just want to say Hitchka, and I raise my hands to everybody.
Hitchka Usiam. Thank you, legislators, for all your remarks and your good comments. So let's move into our agenda. I would like to call upon you again, Chief Squamish, to introduce a motion to invite an honored guest to address the legislature. Chief?
Okay, motion to invite honored guests to address the legislature. Whereas the Tsawwassen Legislature welcomes a delegation of elected leaders and members from Comox First Nation and Quetzalcoatl First Nation to witness the February 11th, 2025 Legislature Assembly meeting. Therefore, be it moved that the Tsawwassen Legislature invite Susan Savoy, Councillor of the Comox First Nation, to address the Legislature Assembly.
Hitchka, Chief, may I have a mover? Legislature Taylor Baker, may I have a seconder? Legislature Marianne? All in favor? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. I would now like to invite Councillor Susan Savoy. you could wait for the feather runner to give you the feather. We haven't had a guest speaker for some time, but it is such an honor to have our guests here today, and especially since it is such a great opportunity to learn from each other, that giving you the opportunity to address the legislature is something that we've grown accustomed to when we have had the opportunity. So you have the feather and you have the floor, Councillor.
Gail Kessler. I'd like to ask my hereditary leaders to join me.
Hitchka.
That's okay. First of all, we'd like to thank you for letting us to attend and join your assembly. You've been gracious host. You fed us twice today. We're so full. So great food. The tour is amazing. We're on the home stretch. 30 years. On March 8th, we'll go to the polls and decide our future. And hopefully on that day, nobody will tell us what to do again. I'd like to acknowledge there's some treaty workers here. Val, you said running a mile a minute. Can you stand? Melissa and Tiffany, they're only two of the team. But you understand the work that they do. We've had leaders that were instrumental in bringing us on this journey, and two of them left us, Ernie Hardy and Stu Hardy. But we have Barb Mitchell, was another leader that was instrumental in bringing us on this journey. So wish us luck, and hopefully after March 8th, we'll be inviting you guys over for a big celebration, and we'll be part of the treaty clan and sisters. So emote.
Hitchka, Councillor Susan Savoy, and hereditary leaders, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your respect and your kindness and your support. And we extend that respect and the kindness and support back to you. And we'll be rooting for you, for your members to come out and vote in a way that they think is appropriate for them, and use their voice to support change. I know that my Uncle Russell Tehuilam, Bryce's grandfather, he had said, "It is scary thinking about what's next. Can we govern ourselves? I don't know, but we can't stay under the Indian Act anymore." And it was through his support and encouragement during those really tough days that I know that you probably have all had, but the support from the elders really carry you through, because they weren't sure of the work either, but they believed in us. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of witnessing the work that we're doing today. All right, this is David and staff's favorite part, the public service affirmation ceremony. I would now like to call upon Chief Cassidy and our Human Resources Manager, David, to conduct the Human Resources ceremony. This is where we have our staff publicly swear an affirmation, an oath, for the service that they are participating in and conducting on behalf of the nation. Some of the staff have started months ago, but under our rules of operation, staff must come and publicly say this oath at the first Legislative Assembly. So some have only started just recently, and some have been here since November, just after November. David, I hand the floor over to you. Hitchka.
Hitchka, Squeakle Hitchka, Feather Runner. Under Section 14 of the Government Employees Act, we ask all new employees to participate in a Tsawwassen Public Service Affirmation Ceremony. The ceremony must include a pledge of honor, respect, and confidentiality. The purpose of the ceremony is to ensure that the employee understands that they're making a commitment to Tsawwassen First Nation and that the employee pledges to honor and respect Tsawwassen members, history, and culture. To ensure that the employee understands the importance of confidentiality when under employment with Tsawwassen First Nation. To provide the employee with a basic working knowledge of the governance structure of Tsawwassen First Nation necessary for their employment. To provide the employee with a basic working knowledge of the Tsawwassen First Nation community and its history and culture. And finally, to provide the employee with acts, plans, policies, and other documents with critical information about the goals of Tsawwassen First Nation, its government, rules, and expectations governing their employment. At this point, I would like to ask Chief Cassidy to say a few words before we continue.
Thank you, David, and welcome to our new employees. The Tsawwassen people have exercised sovereign authority over Tsawwassen land for thousands of years. The Tsawwassen people now exist as part of two worlds, traditional and modern day. On the treaty effective date, April 3rd, 2009, we asserted our inherent right to self-government and instituted a system where our two worlds can coexist. One of these laws requires that new employees participate in an affirmation ceremony and make a public service pledge to Tsawwassen First Nation and to Tsawwassen members. By making this pledge, new employees acknowledge their responsibilities and affirm their intent to work to the best of their abilities on behalf of Tsawwassen First Nation. Hechka.
Hechka Chief David.
Hechka, Chief Cassidy. There are 13 new employees with us tonight who were hired since last Legislative Assembly. And I'll ask each of these new employees to step forward and give a little wave before they walk over to meet the chief to sign their oaths. And I'll give a brief introduction. After the introductions, they'll read the oath together. I'll first start with Bo Simpson. Bo is our new leaseholder relations coordinator, joined the government services team. Prior to joining TFN, Bo was the managing editor for the Surrey Now Leader for the past 10 years. He has a Bachelor of Communications Studies with a major in journalism. Bo is a proud member of the Métis Nation. Welcome, Bo. In the member services team, we have Selena Moore. She joined the member services team as the manager of community services. She has since taken on the additional role of managing the health team on an acting basis. She has a Master's of Arts in Counseling Psychology. Selena is a Métis woman with ancestral ties to the Red River Métis and the Dumont family, currently on a journey of discovery and reconnection. Welcome, Selena. Terry Brunel is our new manager of family services. She comes to us from working over 9 years at Hiyok Meath, Fraser Valley Aboriginal and Family Services Society in various leadership roles. She has both a Bachelor and a Master's of Arts degree in Justice Studies. Terry is Anishinaabe from Brunswick House First Nation Treaty 9. Welcome, Terry. Jaden Newsome joined the health team as a healthcare assistant. She brings experience working as a support worker and care aide to the team. She completed her healthcare assistant diploma at Stanberg College. Welcome, Jaden. Emily Taves joined the education team as our new education support worker. She has worked with children for over 5 years. She holds an education assistant's certificate and recent experience as an education assistant. Emily is a TFN spouse. Welcome, Emily. Andrew Westby joined the Public Works and Utilities team as a Utility Operator 1. He brings experience from a different yet relevant industry as a quality control lab technician in a local brewery and distillery. He has an Associate of Science degree in Biology from Camosun College. Welcome, Andrew. Cora Mortensen is not here. Michelle Brunel is our new substance use support coordinator. I said Michelle, I think. Michael Brunel, excuse me. He still is our new substance use support coordinator. Welcome, Michael. His experience includes working as a shelter worker at Salvation Army and as an outreach support worker at Union Gospel Mission. He has a community support worker diploma from Sprott Shaw. Welcome, Michael. In the lands department, we have Collins Chinwezi. He's our new rental properties custodian. He has over 4 years of experience, including most recently as a shelter support worker and as a building attendant at Lookout Housing and Health Society. Collins has a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering Technology. Welcome, Collins. In the municipal infrastructure team, we have Roy San Buenaventura. He's our new capital projects engineer. Roy moved from Manitoba to join us. He has over 15 years in engineering, planning, design, construction, and operations of infrastructure assets. He has a P.Eng. He's a certified project management professional, has a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, and an MBA. Welcome, Roy. In finance, we have Courtney Chambers. And Courtney joined the corporate governance teams as our senior executive assistant and office supervisor. She has over 12 years of executive assistance experience. She has a BA in administrative commercial studies. Welcome, Courtney. Sean Souza joins our IT team as a support associate. He has over 8 years of directly relevant experience. He most recently worked at Stormtech for 4 years as a senior technical support analyst. Welcome, Sean. Hiroshima is here. There she is. Good. Hiroshima Lakamari is our new accounting assistant. She brings over 7 years experience in the accounting sector in positions such as corporate accountant and bookkeeper controller. Hiroshima has an MBA and a Bachelor of Science in Finance. Welcome, Hiroshima. And now we are going to have everyone get ready to read the oath. Hopefully you all have a copy. And as I mentioned before, I'll sort of give you a little bit of a rhythm. And so 1, 2, 3, and then you start to read. All right? 1, 2, 3.
I, Sean Sousa, pledge to serve Tsawwassen First Nation and Tsawwassen members to the best of my abilities in my position of employee of the Tsawwassen government or of Tsawwassen corporation. I will at all times treat any confidential information in my possession with the utmost care. I will strive to fulfill my duties to the best of my abilities in accordance with Tsawwassen laws, regulations, and policies, and in support of the aspirations and the vision of Tsawwassen First Nation. I will treat every Tsawwassen member, client, and staff with the honor and respect they deserve, and make every effort to understand, respect, and honor the culture, history, and teachings of the Tsawwassen people.
Well done, well done. That concludes this session's new employee affirmation ceremony. Hechka.
Hechka, thank you, everyone. Welcome to TFN. We look forward to the good work that you will accomplish. What an amazing, skilled, and talented team that we've had as an addition to our team that keeps growing and growing and growing. Your synchronicity wasn't too bad. You guys did pretty good. We've had far varied speeches, so you guys are in the top 3, I think, as far as synchronicity. Good job on that. So thank you very much, and again, welcome to Tsawwassen First Nation. Moving on to the next part of our agenda is the first reading of the 2025-2026 Appropriation Act. Do you want to take a quick break, or should we just keep moving? All right, I've got the word 5 minutes. I'll be clocking you. 5-minute break. Perfect. All right, legislatures, everybody back at the table? All right, legislatures, thank you very much. That's a lot of good work that happened to start off the sessions. We always enjoy the public service affirmation ceremony. So now we would like to move to the first reading of the 2025-2026 Appropriation Act. And I would like to call upon Chief Swanisat Laura Cassidy to introduce the bill. Chief?
Hechka Swickle and Hechka Dayton for the feather. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Executive Council and as Chief of Tsawwassen First Nation, I'd like to begin by thanking all the Tsawwassen people who are joining us, as well as staff who have gathered to support us. I also want to thank my fellow Legislature Assembly members. Preparing for this first meeting of the spring session is not an easy task. You're spending time away from your friends, your family, and your children, and your responsibilities. We are very appreciative of your commitment to us in helping to make these important budget decisions. This budget for the new fiscal year 2025-2026 is the most vital law we pass every year in the Tsawwassen Legislature. This budget allows us to carry on in our valuable work that we do for our members and their families. Together, Executive Council and the Finance and Audit Committee have worked diligently to create a budget which we are confident will continue to promote the interests of all of our people and continue to see our operations successfully implemented through the new fiscal year. The 2025-2026 budget schedules have undergone restructuring in the past year. The hard work that went into organizing the budget is reflective of our changing organizational structure. Some schedules remain the same as previous years, while others have been adjusted to provide greater transparency as to how resources are allocated at each department level. I'm also pleased to say that this budget was drafted to be consistent with our strategic plan. The strategic plan guides all of our decisions of this government because we know that the plan reflects the will of the Tsawwassen people. Your input over the last year and continued engagement with Tsawwassen government has been essential. We are grateful for your continued efforts, support to your families, communities, and nation. As with the previous fiscal year, we can proudly say that we continue to see a range of plans progressing successfully alongside new programs, infrastructure, services, and job opportunities. This budget was drafted with the best interests of the membership at heart, and we look forward to discussing the merits with our respected legislatures. I will now read a motion to introduce Bill 001, the 2025-2026 Appropriations Act. Whereas the Finance and Audit Committee has the responsibility of developing the annual budget for review by Executive Council under Section 13 of the Financial Administration Act, and whereas the Executive Council has the authority to approve the annual budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year under the authority of Section 21 of the Financial Administration Act, and whereas the annual budget must be submitted to the Tsawwassen Legislature before the third Monday in February, and whereas the Executive Council has reviewed and approved the 2025-2026 annual budget, Bill 001-2025, the 2025-2026 Appropriations Act, and are recommending its approval to the Tsawwassen Legislature. Therefore, it be moved that Bill 001-2025 and the 2025-2026 Appropriations Act be introduced for all the Tsawwassen legislature's consideration, debate, and approval.
Hajka Chief, Chief Squamosat has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Legislator Halkamatia Louise Alm is seconder. All in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you, Legislature. The motion has been approved unanimously. Now, I would like to call upon the Director of Finance and Corporate Services, Mark DeMello, to give us a brief overview of Bill 001-2025. Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Hajka Squeakle CM. Thank you, Dayton, for the feather. I think brief is a debatable term, but I will try my best. I did want to start off by saying, though, that this was a very inspiring and moving evening, that working for TFN is a privilege, and bringing a budget forward on behalf of the organization with a team of directors that's all worked together with me on this is also a tremendous privilege and an honor. And for that, Squeakle CM, I am so grateful to be a member of the Tsawwassen team. So as you all know, and for the benefit of our guests who are still here today, and trying very hard to stay awake through this presentation, our budget is broken up into local government services, which are services that are municipal-like in nature. They're provided to everyone that resides on TFN lands. And then member services, which are services that are provided only to TFN members, whether they be on lands or anywhere else that they live. Our budget's a little bit like a jigsaw. I think I've used this analogy before. Schedules, and we've renumbered our schedules now, so the numbering system flows, and we don't have to introduce letters in between. But schedules 1 through 6 are the local government operations schedules. Schedule 7 is local government capital. And likewise, on the member side, schedules 8 through 13 are operations, and 14 is capital. All of the budget was introduced in the first reading, but when it goes to second reading, each bill is debated schedule by schedule. The budget is now at over $80 million. A little over 60% of the budget is member expenditures, with the balance for local government. And when you look at our history over the last 10 years, we've gone from a budget that was predominantly local government expenditures, less so on the member side, to being able to grow our member revenues to the point where, you know, we're now almost 2/3 of our budget is on member expenses. On the local government side, as you can see, we have been budgeting a shortfall for a number of years. Unlike municipal governments who are required to balance the budget, we aren't. We budget what we need or we think we might need. We spend what we absolutely have to spend. And typically over the years, while we've budgeted for a deficit, we haven't actually spent to a deficit position. So our deficits have, a deficit budget is continued this year at roughly the same amount as it has been the last few years. If we continue along the path, and I fully expect that we will, we should be able to break even again. So one of the keys here with local government revenues being, the budget being split between local government and member services is that our revenues are kept separate. And so property taxes, which are paid by our leasehold residents, only go to fund local government services. They don't fund services for members because the people paying the taxes then would not be benefiting from them. So our key revenues on the local government side are property taxes, utility charges, development fees. The growth this year is about $5.4 million. Much of that growth is in property taxes, and that's because the assessment base grew this year. We also underestimated a little our revenues last year, so we've got a little bit of a catch up there. Development fees are down because after years of being an extremely fast-growing jurisdiction, development slowed down a little. So they're still fairly substantial, but not quite as high as they have been in the past. Our other revenues, though, have gone up, and I'll quickly jump to the next slide because those explain what they are. Interest revenue is up $500,000. We continue to do pretty well with our investments. Our human resources and legal departments have both been able to acquire some grant funding, which brings in about $500,000. There's a $400,000 TransLink grant, and our agricultural lease revenues are $200,000. So all of that has combined to generate more revenues. However, the expenditures have also gone up. They've gone up by pretty much the same amount as our revenues have gone up, so our projected deficit is around the same. I won't spend too much time speaking to any of the changes because in subsequent meetings, each of these schedules will be presented in much more detail. On the member side, we've historically had pretty much break-even budgets. But if you look at this year, we're projecting some fairly large increases in our expenditures. And even though our revenues have gone up a little, our expenditures have gone up a fair bit more. And we are projecting a fairly large deficit. So our revenue sources, again, are different. There's the federal block funding, the school taxes or the educational equivalency taxes that residents would typically pay to the province. The province then allows TFN to collect and utilize for our own purposes. And a bunch of other sources. The most significant thing to notice here is that our grant revenues are projected down at this point. Some of those grants simply haven't been approved yet, or they're not at the stage where we can count on them enough to be included in the budget, but we are hopeful that they will get approved during the year. So while we have overall growth in many revenues, our deficit is pretty large at this point, around $8 million. 5 of it, though, is because over the last few years, we have collected revenues relating to servicing grants. We haven't paid out the servicing grants because we haven't had the demand. Our expectation is that we will be making those payments in the current year. So it's sort of like a catch-up payment. And 5 million of that deficit is actually being covered off by surplus in the previous years. The remaining deficit is real, but like I said, we haven't at this point got all our grants approved yet. So we will continue to work on those grants, and we're hopeful we'll get them. If we don't, we'll manage our spending in the way we always do to reduce the impact as much as we can. Our goal is always to be sustainable. So as you can see here, we're looking at an $8 million increase in expenses for this year. Oops, and that must be my timer to stop. So I'll quickly move on to the next section. I'm happy to answer any questions. It just came at the right time.
Is that real? Is that real? Did that just happen? Wow. I'm going to have to bring you back every legislative session for Mark's presentation. Thank you, sir. Heichka, Mark, for your presentation. It was really informative, and thank you for the work of the team and the Finance and Audit Committee for cleaning up and reorganizing to improve the efficiency and the transparency of our schedules. There's a lot of money that we are considering and a lot of programming that we're considering that needs to be done with that. And so having it work and flow a little better is always helpful to our work. As a reminder, we are in first reading legislatures, and the purpose of this reading is to clarify, have any clarification questions about the bill. We will have opportunity to fully debate the bill during our second reading, but I would like to provide any opportunity for any clarifying questions about the bill that we just tabled. Legislatures? Legislature Kwiakwia. Andrea Jacobs.
Squeakle CM, Mark, for the presentation. Just wondering if we can have an explanation on the settlement loan forgiveness. Just wondering what that is.
Mark.
Heichka Dayton for the Feather, Heichka Squeakle CM, and Heichka Legislator Kwiakwia for your question. So when TFN signed the treaty, there was a settlement loan that had to be paid back to Canada. TFN paid it back. Some years after the money was paid back, Canada changed their policy and did not require other nations to pay back their money. So they then forgave all of those loans. Because we'd already made our payment to Canada, they then made it back to us over a 5-year period. The last of those 5 years was last year, which is why that revenue is no longer on the list. Heichka Squeakle.
Heichka. Any other clarifying questions? Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your question. I would now like to refer the bill to Advisory Council for study and ask for a motion to move the bill. I'm going to read the motion to move the bill to second reading. All right. Motion to move Bill 001-2025, the 2025-2026 Appropriations Act, to second reading as independent schedules. Whereas the Tsawwassen Legislature has the authority under Section 512C of the Constitution Act to enact Tsawwassen laws. And whereas the Tsawwassen Legislature under Section 24(2) of the Financial Administration Act must approve the annual budget. And whereas under the Legislature Rules and Procedure Manual, Section 25, each bill must receive 3 separate readings. And whereas the Tsawwassen Legislature finds it constructive to consider each schedule separately during second reading. Therefore, be it moved that Bill 001, 2025 proceed to second reading, and that each schedule of Bill 001, 2025 be reviewed, debated, and voted on separately during second reading. May I have a mover, please? Legislature Laqualia, Tia Williams-Seaford. May I have a seconder? Legislature Spoloctowit, Terry Splockton, seconder. All in favor, please raise your hands. Motion carried unanimously. Thank you, legislatures. Great work. That's it. We have completed this evening's agenda. Thank you very much, legislature. We've got a lot accomplished during this day, and it's true. It's so great to start today with ceremony and grounding ourselves and grounding our work in our culture. Even though it was a simple agenda, it's a very important items tabling that bill, because this is the bulk of our work and the bulk of our purpose. This is the first of a few long evenings ahead of us. Many of you are going to be away from your families, your human families and your fur families, and I appreciate your dedication to do the good work that we do. I would also remind everybody to please take care of yourself. It's cold and flu season. We are gathering amongst each other, and we have been hugging each other and different things like that. So make sure you rest. Make sure you take some vitamin C and vitamin D and all the zinc things that happen, and taking care of yourself. Hydrate. Make sure to get some tea into you, and just take care of yourself so we can get through this session together, and that we can do it in a good way. And I'm really appreciative now that I'm saying that of our song, that healing song that was that drummed us in. It's perfect to make sure that we stay in full strength and capacity for this session. This concludes the business for the first night of the Spring 2025 session. I would like to extend gratitude to Elder Costania for the opening prayer, and to Wapio and Kwekwemasat for drumming us in, and for Sultanat for starting our meal in a good way with the table song, and also to thank our feather runner, Dayton. Oh, he's not there. He's over here. Oh, Dayton, you tricked me. I thought you were over. You're usually over on my right side here. Thank you, Dayton, again for being our feather runner, and to Yums for our delicious meal. Also to extend gratitude to our staff for always working hard to put this together, and our audiovisual people for making sure that we sound good, and maybe even looking good, depending if you've got a filter on me on the camera. I'd appreciate that. And our cultural staff for also the work that they've done, and getting the regalia and doing the work together. Much gratitude and thanks to our delegates from the Comox First Nation and Kitsum-Kalem First Nation for your long journey and your even longer day. We've filled your brain, and hopefully we've filled your hearts. We totally understand that some of the elders had to leave. Some people are tired and need to have some rest, and that's okay. We hope that you found that this evening informational and uplifting. We hope that you really enjoyed your time with us tonight. Thank you for your presentation, Mark. I really love that timer. I think I'm going to have to figure that one out. To all the elders that came here to support us, the advisory council that are supporting us, our members, our staff, and our guests, and for those that are also supporting us online, we extend our gratitude and for your support there. There is a ceremonial procession on leaving, and Wapio and Kwekwemasat will drum us out. Thank you for the honor, the privilege of being your Squeakquel for tonight, and this adjourns our meeting. Haichka.
Oh